My husband was in a car accident last week. He was staying at the hospital for his broken leg. Only me and his mom were there. His mom and I don't get along at all. He tells me I'm overreacting or paranoid whenever I point out how she's mistreating me. He complained about hospital food, saying it had no taste, and asked me to make his favorite meal, which steak dish, and bring it to him at the hospital. Noting that steak isn't cheap where we live and I didn't have enough time to prepare it. I told him I will see what I can do. Then his mom said if I'm truly a supportive wife then I'd make it happen. Once we went outside his room, his mom's tone changed. She suddenly seemed nice and said that she could see how exhausted I was and so I should go home and not worry about the steak dish because she said she'd make it for him. I asked if she was 100% sure and she said absolutely. The next visit I showed up and my husband asked why I didn't bring the steak dish he asked for. I saw his mom there. I told him his mom offered to make it for him instead and told me not to worry about it. He didn't believe it and was like, "Mom said that? I'm not buying it. Mom, you really said that?" Her reaction shocked me. She acted confused and said that I'm his wife and she didn't know why I'd expect her to perform my duties for me. I was confused and didn't know what to do. My husband seemed upset the entire visit and I waited till his mom left to talk. I swore to him his mom said she'd take care of it, but he said he didn't believe me. I pulled my phone out, called his mom and put her on speaker so he could hear the conversation. I said, "Didn't you say you'd make the steak dish and that I didn't have to worry about it?" She relied I did, but I obviously wasn't actually going to do it. I was just trying to help my son see how his wife is during the rough times and you took the bait. My husband raised his eyebrows. He got pissed. He called her later and picked a fight, then said no more visiting. She lost it, called me petty and manipulative and blasted me on Facebook saying I stopped her from seeing her son only because I couldn't get her to do things for me like cooking for my own husband. Now his family is criticizing me for this. Not the idiot. This is classic narcissistic behavior on his mother. Why is your husband angry at you for not bringing a steak? He is in the hospital. Hospital food is bland by design. I've had some great hospital food the few times I've had it. It is about expectations. Is he even allowed to have outside food? Exposing your MIL is epic and was needed. If anyone criticizes you, explain what happened and be done with it. I would also have a long talk with your husband about his behavior. Screenshot everything on Facebook and any and all future communication. She's a total monster and your husband has either not been exposed to her horribleness or has made excuses for her. Sad that she got busted only with proof, but happy that she showed her true colors. Keep the momentum rolling until your husband cuts her off completely himself. This is huge because being raised by that freak show has done some damage that will take time and her being out of the picture to heal from. Wow, husband's mom is mega petty and manipulative. She's clearly targeting you, and your husband needs to end her intrusive behavior now. If that means he goes no contact with her, so be it. She will not stop here with this. Be on guard, accept nothing from her, not her word or gifts or promises, and keep recording everything she says if you're near her so you have evidence. Not the idiot. P.S. Husband needs to make a statement online and shut down his family's drama in one stroke. She's poisoning the whole family's view of you and will clearly lie about anything. I 32 met my wife 3 years ago. We got married 9 months ago. We have a baby boy together that she got pregnant with while we were engaged. My wife used to be a love worker. No judgment on that, please. She did what she had to do to survive. My parents were always being skeptical about her and a lot of times asked if I want to settle down with her. When she got pregnant, they went nuts and demanded a DNA test. They refused to attend the wedding till the DNA test was done, which caused a huge problem. They ended up missing the wedding obviously. The test was done because my wife wanted to prove a point and eventually my parents made amends and we reconciled. They started visiting and yesterday noticed the photo of the DNA test that I hang in the living room. They asked about it and I told that it serves as a reminder for why they didn't attend my wedding. They were stunned and livid when I mentioned that I tell any guest the same thing I told them. Mom and Dad were mad and asked me repeatedly to take it down, saying I'm being too harsh on them and refusing to let go of the past as well as embarrassing them to the other family members. I refused to take it down and I admit being sarcastic in my response, saying it goes with the OI's decor. They begged then refused to come over anymore till I remove it. My brother thinks it's petty and childish and said I should take it down. Alright, I'm editing some stuff in. First of all, my wife does not mind having the photo up. She laughs about it sometimes, but she's still carrying some hurt that was caused by what happened. And second of all, no, she no longer does love work, it's all in the past. And did I mention that my brother and I aren't close? He's known as the crackhead in the family. So that's that. Not the idiot. I find it pretty telling by their attitude towards the DNA test isn't out of shame for how poorly they treated your wife for being a former love worker, but rather what other people would think of them. I'd have a sit down with your parents and find out what they still think of your wife. Because personally, I wouldn't want my parents near my child if they're gonna view my partner as lesser than. I'm going to say not the idiot. I'm torn though. On one hand, it is pretty petty, but your parents are no stranger to pettiness either. It just seems to me like there really hasn't been a reconciliation if you still feel the need to display the test. Just a ceasefire really. Also, props to you on not judging your wife on her past and for not standing for anyone else judging her on it either. Not the idiot. People in this thread don't understand setting boundaries with parents late game. This is how you do it. Giving in and taking it down is just going to enable them to think they can return to being snobs to wife. Next time tell them you should be embarrassed. You should be ashamed. That's the point. I'm glad to see you are capable. My wife will decide when I've made my point and you'll thank her. I, 24, have a younger sister who passed away a year ago. She was 3 years younger than me, and although we didn't have the best relationship, I miss her every day. She suffered from mental health problems all her life and unfortunately lost her battle. Our mother, 47, was never supportive and never helped her, and she even disowned my sister when she was 18 years old because she didn't want to deal with her anymore. Our parents are divorced, so my sister moved away to be closer to our dad, 52, when that happened. He isn't great either, but a million times better than mom. When my sister passed away, my father, my paternal family and myself took care of the funeral. I'm NC with my mom and her family, who are equally as horrible as she is, so we kept the funeral off social media and my mom didn't find out. During the 2 years between the disowning and the funeral, my mom never spoke to my sister once, or asked me about her. My dad told me that it was my decision on whether or not to tell her, and I decided not to because she never supported my sister at all. I didn't think she deserved to cry and pretend that she cared when she never did. My dad also lives in a different country to my mother. I got a phone call from an unknown number yesterday and it was my mother. I made the mistake of not hanging up immediately and I decided to have a conversation with her. In that conversation, she asked about how my sister was. I told her the truth. It went down horribly, and according to my stepdad, my mother fainted and was inconsolable. I've now been receiving phone calls from all of her family who are extremely furious with me. My dad and members of his family too are being contacted on social media. Now, I'm feeling like total crap. My mother was abusive towards my sister and my stepdad was too. But loads of people are telling me that I was totally wrong for what I've done and that my mother deserved to know regardless of what's happened. My dad and his family are saying that I was right, but something about hearing that my mother fainted is making me feel awful. My boyfriend, 29, said what I did was an idiot move and now I've caused my mother unimaginable pain. We got into an argument and he said that as a mother, my mom deserved to know. Am I the idiot here? Not the idiot. Blanket respond and block everyone. I can assure you, that someone who did not notice her daughter was dead for 2 years is not now crying for that same person. I don't know what her angle is this time, but she can continue offering my sister the same care and concern in death as she offered her in life. None. I want no part in this one-woman drama. Do not contact me further in an effort to secure yourselves a supporting role. I'm so sorry for your loss. Not the idiot. Absolutely not. Your mother disowned her, she gave up her rights. No one has the right to put you in the middle or to get icky with you. By disowning your sister, your mother gave up all rights to know anything. And to your boyfriend, excuse me? As a mother, we don't disown our children because we don't feel like dealing. We don't disown because they need us. I'm so angry at your mother and boyfriend right now I could scream. As a mother I'm always there for my children. She can go to hell. Not the idiot. A few things stand out to me. Your mother disowned her, so therefore she relinquished all family priority in the event of a tragedy, and you did tell your mother the first time you spoke with her you didn't lie in any way. I don't see how you are responsible for reaching out to volunteer info on a child she disowned. She should have been a better mother if she wanted to be in the know. I, 25, Went with my best friends at a resort we've all been dying to go to. It's a very fancy one and everyone saved up enough money to afford their share. The resort has a nightclub inside and we were really excited to go to but knew we couldn't. The thing is Khadija, whom we called Hija, is Muslim and she doesn't like going to clubs or be around alcohol. It's because of her religion and we all respect that. We never drink any alcohol around her or even make or mention any plans that she will not be able to attend. Well, to our surprise, Hija said that it was fine for us to go to the club. We didn't want to as she would be left out, but she said she doesn't mind coming with us. We told her that so many people will be drinking and even we will because it's a nightclub and we don't want her to feel pressurized to do things out of her comfort zone just to fit in. She said it was fine and dragged us with her to the club. Well, we didn't mind. Me and my friends excluding Hija tried to keep the alcohol on the low and got no more than 2 shots, but we all stayed together so Hija came kinda close when we drank. Hija looked at us weirdly when she saw us drink and stormed out. We thought she was probably tired but one of my other friends, Elena, suggested we go after her. And so we did. When we stepped out of the club we saw Hija walking away about to take the path to the rooms. Our rooms were pretty far. We called out to her so many times but each time she would just walk faster. It's not like she didn't hear us because we were screaming pretty loudly. It came to the point that Elena had to run to Khadija. She managed to stop her and we all caught up with them. At this point Hija was fuming. We asked her if something was wrong and why she was avoiding us and she said because what we did was haram. We looked at each other and asked her what happened. She basically said that we disrespected her by drinking in front of her and that we were just huge brats. I then went on to tell her that we did warn her we would be drinking and she went to a club. What did she expect, and that we also drank very less because of her and that she even said it was fine. She said that she didn't actually think we would drink and that we were disgusting for disrespecting her, etc. That isn't true. We have so much respect for both her. We didn't want to upset her. The next day, aka yesterday, went super bad. We woke up, had breakfast, lunch, packed our bags and checked out and yet no one said a word though Khadija gave us some looks. We never meant to disrespect or upset her. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Respecting her religion should not be synonymous with conforming to her religious views to respect them. I say this as a person who too has certain dietary restrictions due to my religion, and my friends and family would avoid even bringing certain food items home, let alone eat them. I finally had to talk to them that my views are personal and they don't have to do anything to make it comfortable for me. Eat and cook as you please. I'm honestly not sure how you could be the idiot here. It's not your job to avoid drinking around her, but you guys do it anyway, which is nice, I guess. While you wouldn't be the idiot for drinking in front of her without her giving you the okay first, she did give you the okay. You went from 100% social clearance to drink around her to like 200%. This is ridiculous. I have a Muslim friend who doesn't drink, but they don't get all pissy when we do. Not sure how old Hija is, but this sounds like a maturity issue for her. People won't always do only what she approves of. It's on her to learn to live in a diverse world. Not the idiot. She told you it's okay to drink in front of her and then made you actually drunk in front of her? Was it meant to be some sort of test? Like she thought you'd all just say no and she'd be all happy with herself? She's not a good friend. You've been patient enough by not drinking around her before. I have many Muslim friends who don't drink to religious reasons and not one of them have asked any of their friends to change their lifestyle. They understand drinking is very much a social thing, so if they wish to not attend or not drink, we accept in the same way they accept that we do. My ex's grandfather passed away in 2020. We were very close and he left me the cottage he bought his late wife. My ex and his brothers have spent the last 2 years trying to convince me to sell the cottage to them. I've refused because while I understand the cottage is important to them and their family, it was also important to me and I didn't want to give it up. Unfortunately, due to their actions, the cottage now has more negative emotions tied to it than positive, so I want to get rid of it. I won't sell it to them, especially not to my ex because he's hurt me badly. I have a friend, who my ex hates, who has offered to buy it from me. I know he's only offering because he knows it'll hurt my ex, but I'm considering selling it to him. My ex's brothers have been trying to convince me not to do it as they're convinced he'll have the cottage destroyed. My ex confronted me about it a few days ago and told me I'm being spiteful and his grandfather would never forgive me if the cottage was destroyed. He told me he would rather I keep it over me selling it to my friend, and he was willing to do whatever it took to stop me from selling it. My cousin thinks I should just sell it to my ex and be done with it, as she doesn't think my ex will take this lying down, and she thinks I'll regret doing this in the long term. However, I don't want to sell it to him or anybody else in his family. Am I the idiot for refusing to sell it to my ex and his family, even though I know how important the cottage is to them and I no longer want it? Not the idiot. His grandfather gave it to you after your divorce, right? Keep it for now, don't make any decisions about this in a hurry. You could even do an Indian sage ritual or something to clean it. If you love the cottage, don't let them bully you into selling it. The friend may even be in cahoots with your ex. Do not sell it for less than it is worth in any case. I'm getting a vibe that you are selling it for the wrong reasons and might be sorry later. You say you want to disconnect from this, but it sounds like you keep entertaining all this interaction with your ex and his family. Why? Just list the cottage and sell it to the highest bidder. Why is that so hard? Don't want to sell it to your ex? Easy, tell the real estate agent not to accept offers from them. Again, why is this so hard? You are the idiot, and you are being spiteful. Everything you wrote shows you are being spiteful. If you want to keep it, I support that, but if you are indeed going to sell it, let it stay in their family. Ask for a fair price, they didn't deserve a special discount. If they don't agree to an appraised price, not just your price but an actual appraised price, then sell it to someone else. This will also take away any kind of legal fight they attempt to take if they decline the appraised price.